Hey, I wanted to come to you today and explain to you a little bit about the mission of the company and what we're about to go do for all of humanity. Number one is we want to be able to educate and empower people and humanity towards true wealth. And true wealth means different things for different people, but I believe that once you understand what your passion is, number one, and what purpose you serve or what problem are you solving, you can understand why this is a big need in the marketplace. People deserve to have education and they deserve to be empowered towards their true wealth. And like I said, it means different things for different people. And what we're talking about is the ability to provide everyone, the average person, simple and practical strategies, real strategies, not a hypothesis, not a theory, but actual strategies that allows people to make, keep, and multiply their money. Why? Because in my experience, most people have a very difficult time knowing how to make money. Or if people do know how to make money, they want to know, how can I make more money? Also, in my experience of going all over the world and teaching and training and educating hundreds of thousands of people, it's my experience that most people don't know how to keep any of their money. What I mean by that is if you make $3,000 a month, you're probably going to spend $3,000 a month. If you make $5,000 a month, you're probably going to spend $5,000 a month. If you make $10,000 a month, you're probably going to spend $10,000 a month. And even though we intuitively know that we need to keep something, most humans have a very difficult time actually having the discipline to keep anything, which means if you're not keeping anything, you're never going to have the opportunity of having your money go to work for you and multiplying your money. And for me, I think it's one of the greatest things that people are looking for. It's the number one cause of divorce. It's the number one cause of arguments with a lot of people is money. I know people that actually have to make millions and millions of dollars a year because they've learned how to make money, but they've done a very poor job at keeping it, therefore never allowing yourself to multiply. And what I want to show you is it's not that difficult. I want to show you a very simple strategy, a very simple technique. For example, if you were to make $1,000 a week, right? The average American makes about $1,000 a week. And if you were to keep a percent of it, if I were to ask you right now, if you're to write down what percent of every dollar do you keep, you probably don't know it off the top of your head, which means it's not something that's a behavior that you have for you right now. But if you were to keep something, what percent of your money do you keep? For example, if you are able to keep 10% and you are disciplined at doing that, then what you need to do is find a place for your money to go and multiply. There's a lot of different strategies out there, but you need to have a strategy. If you don't give your money an assignment every single week, your money has no assignment every single week. And so let's say you were making $1,000 a week and you were able to save 10% or $100. And then you found a strategy to have your money go multiply for you. And here we're going to talk about a return. What if you just got a 1.35% return per week? Meaning that your $100 made you a whopping $1.35. Now, most people don't get overly excited about making $1.35, but I have news for you. There's no way you're ever going to be able to make hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars if you don't first learn a strategy to make $1. Because if I can show you how to make $1, I can probably show you how to make $2. If I can show you how to make $2, I can probably show you how to make 4, and 4 into 8, and so on and so forth. But just this little example. $1,000 a week, you save 10%, and you find a place, you find a strategy that gets you 1.35% per week, but then you did it every single week. If you are committed and you are disciplined and you are able to do this every single week of every single month, of every single quarter, of every single year, and you did this for 10 years, you would have millions of dollars. The only question is, will you do it? In my experience, there's a big gap between what people know and what people do. For example, if you wanted to get physically fit and you wanted to go get your body in a better shape, there's really only two things you need to do. You just need to eat right and exercise. That's it. Eat right and exercise. And everybody intuitively knows this, that if you want to get physically fit, you just eat right and exercise. The problem is that there's a million strategies on how to eat right, and there's a million strategies on how to work out. And people get lost in the strategies and they never just do the daily discipline. But if that's all you did was eat right and exercise every single day of every single week of every single month of every single year, I guarantee you that your body would be in better shape and you would feel a lot better. The same thing is true for making money, for keeping money, and for multiplying money. You just need a simple strategy, and you need the discipline and the commitment and the perseverance to do it for a long period of time, and you are closer than you think to financial security. You're closer than you think to financial stability. You're closer than you think to financial independence, and you're closer than you think to financial freedom. It just needs to start with a decision that you're going to be disciplined at doing something. And this is you, and this is most people, and this is me, is that if this is you today, you have a vision of what you could be in the future. And usually the vision of what you could be in the future is bigger than where you are right now. Right? You have this idea, you have this dream of what your money's going to look like. You have this vision, or you have this dream of what your relationships are going to look like. You have this vision, or you have this dream of a business that you're going to build, or the knowledge or experience that you're going to gain over time. And you also have a vision or a belief of what type of spiritual capacity you're going to have over your lifetime. But it looks like this. But most people say, you know what? I actually want this bigger version of me. I deserve to have this bigger version of me. And they say, you know what? Once I have everything that I have or that I'm looking for, then I'll actually go and do all the things that I need to do, and then I'll become the person that I'm destined to become over here, right? So this is the way that most people live their life. They say, well, once I have everything, then I'll go do what it is that I need to do, and then I'll ultimately become the person I need to become. In my experience, this is actually opposite of how it really works, right? It's actually opposite of how it really works. How it really works is that you need to become the person that you need to become first. Because if you can become the person that you need to become first, then you will get yourself to go do what it is that you already know you should be doing. And if you continue to do those things, you'll ultimately have what it is that you deserve to have. The problem is inside of yourself, you have this thing called resistance. Right? You have resistance to doing simple things over a long period of time. And that's what we want to help with. We want to help with the education. We want to help with empowering you to be able to open up and have awareness and then get access to what it is that we're talking about. The number one thing in my experience that stops people from getting what they really want is their psychology. The number one thing that stops most people from getting what they really want is their psychology. It's the thing that stops you from getting money. It's the thing that stops you from keeping money. It's the thing that stops you from multiplying your money. It's the thing that stops you from going to the gym. It's the thing that stops you from building a relationship that you know that you need to build. It's the thing that stops you from actually learning something new and increasing your capacity is your own internal psychology. And when we talk about psychology, we want to be able to offer people a whole host of education, right? A whole host of education predominantly in 3 areas. So we're trying to do this over here. It's E squared. This is not a math formula, but this is to educate and empower. Educate and empower in 3 primary categories. Number 1 is personal development. Why? Because like I said, the number one thing that stops people is their psychology. What's going on inside of these 2 little things called your ears, inside of your brain is your psychology. You owe it to yourself to get personal development every single day. Business development. Why would you want business development? Because I believe that most people have a dream of being their own boss. I believe that most people have a dream of building a business for themselves. I think that most people dream of having a business that lasts through multiple generations for them and their family. But they have no idea how to build a business if their psychology is wrong or their personal development is off. And then the third type of education we want to give to people and to empower people with is financial development. So all the products that we're going to be doing is talking about personal development, business development, and financial development. And we believe this has an opportunity to not only educate, but truly empower someone where they're going from being a learner to a leader, from a leader to an influencing leader, and from an influencing leader ultimately to an empowered leader. Once this happens, once your psychology, once your eyes are opened up to something, once your ears are opened up to something, once your heart is opened up to receiving what's rightfully yours, then we want to do this over here, A squared, right? This allows for awareness, right? Awareness and access. The problem for most people is that they don't know how to make money. They don't know how to keep it, and they don't know how to multiply it. A lot of times at no fault of their own. They don't have the awareness. They've never been around the right people. They've never been around the right types of education. They've never been around the right types of leaders. They've never been around the right types of mentors that can give them the awareness that they deserve, and then give them access, like I said, to simple and practical strategies. So imagine these are engines, engine number 1, engine number 2, 3, and 4. Imagine these are strategies. Imagine these are strategies where you're able to put you were making $1,000, you kept 10%, and you put it into one of these engines. We already walked through the formula of what that means to you, right? If you were to have one engine that was making you $1,000 a week and you were saving 10% and you got 1.35%, at the end of 10 years, it would be millions of dollars. That's just one strategy. Now imagine for a second if you had access to not only one strategy, but 2 strategies or 3 strategies or 4 strategies that were all engines operating under the same principles, right? 10 years later, millions. 10 years later, millions. 10 years later, millions. 10 years later, millions. Like I said, the problem is most people don't have the education and most people don't have the access to real strategies. You owe it to yourself. I believe that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. I believe that God has a destiny in store for you that you truly, truly deserve, and it is absolute true wealth for you and your family. You deserve to know what it feels like to win. You deserve to know what it feels like to make money every single week. You deserve to know what it feels like to be disciplined at keeping a percent of your money. You deserve to know what it feels like to have your money go multiply for you every single week. You deserve to know how to build a business that stands the test of time. You deserve to have a business that you're able to teach and educate and empower hundreds of thousands of other people. The only question I have for you when you think about your destiny is how big of a game do you really want to play? How big of a game do you really want to play? I think deep down inside of you, if you're being truthful with yourself, if you're saying, you know what is my passion and what problem do I want to solve in the world? I believe that every human being is looking for an opportunity for a place to have hope, an opportunity to have a real strategy that's going to show them how to go from where they are today to where they deserve to be into the future. And I believe that that is absolute true wealth for you. I believe it's absolute true wealth for all of humanity. Ask yourself the question today, what is it that's stopping you? What is it that's stopping you from pursuing your real passion? What's stopping you from actually going after and solving a massive problem in the world? Always ride the wave of life and always play big.